Hey, we're going on safari. Come on along.
Located in Winston, Oregon, just 80 miles south of Eugene, Wildlife Safari is right off of the 5 with easy on and off access. Since it was right on our way back home, we knew we just had to stop. We started our tour in the Safari Village.
So one of the cool things you can do here is have an animal encounter. They have several per day. It is an extra charge over the drive-thru, which we're about to go do. But you get to see things like cheetahs. Right now, the cheetahs are sleeping. All right, so here at Wildlife Safari, it's a fully accredited organization, and here you're the captive, the animals are wild. That's their tagline, not mine. And that's on the drive-thru we're about to go through. But there are several animals right here, including the flamingos, that you can see in the walk-through area. That's near the gift shop, the restrooms, that sort of thing. Let's go find more.
This area is one of many that you can walk through and learn about the animals, but we just love flamingos, so it was a great place to start. And the tortoise and baby ducks were adorable. There are many enclosures that are all set at a level that makes it easy to enjoy animals like the burrowing owl, tamarin, and the adorable marmosets.
Looks like you can mine for gems here too, and fossils.
There's even a petting zoo called the Barnyard where you can go and hang out with the farmyard animals. I always love the sheep, but there's lots to see here.
So you see the walk around has a lot to offer, including a grill.
So it's pretty basic fare here at the grill, the Safari Grill. Everything's around $15. Kids meals are $8.50. They've got burgers. We got a BLT and onion rings, as you can see. And
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, and they have ice cream because it's hot. We might get some.
Okay, everybody, there are extras here. So you can take a camel ride or a train ride. We're gonna skip on the train ride because it is inching up to 90 degrees. I know, me, give up a train ride? Y'all know me better than that. But the heat, oh, dude, it's cooking out here. Time to go for a drive.
It's stage left through the gift shop.
Great place to pick up gifts for the kids. And speaking of kids, there are several field trips each year and you can book one of their buses if needed.
You want a guidebook for $5?
We chose not to get the guidebook, but almost immediately regretted it when we came upon these gazelle-looking animals. Turned out they were bongos. They were in the same area as the wildebeest and Watusi cattle. There are several areas representing different habitats. The zebra live with the rest of the African animals, but we found that they wandered to a lot of different areas.
So when I was here last time, and mind you, it was 20 years ago, the lions were not caged up. You just went into a fenced area and had to keep your windows up. Now they're fenced. So they're way, way over there. So you can see a couple of lionesses under there. Oh, hey, there's the train. And then as you go around, you can see there's a central enclosure, but we haven't found an animal in there. I'm gonna think it's probably hiding in the reeds, because like I said, It's really hot today. But let's go find some more.
The online map definitely came in handy when trying to figure out what type of animal we were staring at. But some of them we knew right away. Some came right up to the car, but most were in the fields and on the hillsides, along with native animals like the rock squirrel and this very protective barn swallow. And more zebra. Did you know that there are 3 types of zebra? And if you look closely, it's actually very easy to tell them apart. This type has very narrow and closely set black stripes, while the mountain zebra is black, white, and brown. And the plain zebra, which they have here, has broad black stripes going in many different directions with even a bit of gray shadowing. Approaching the wetlands gave us native bird species like those Canada geese and more to enjoy. This great blue heron was quite the pest to his poor mallard neighbor, who was not at all happy when the heron decided the mallard's perch should be theirs. But this being July, the dragonflies were out by the dozens, which, since they are my favorite insect, was a delight. Having been to Yellowstone, we've both seen bison before, but I found out on this trip that I'm still very scared of them. You cannot fathom how big they are till you see them up close, even if they are napping in a field of wildflowers. Of course, the babies were adorable too, and there were quite a few of them to ooh and ah over. The ostrich and the guanaco definitely made us laugh as we moved on to the next section, the bears. This was the hottest part of the day, so we really didn't expect to see any of the black or brown bears. We were thrilled to see them out and about. Black bears are the smaller of the two and definitely less aggressive. This one had come out of the shade tunnel and decided very quickly to return. The brown bears, often mistaken for grizzly bears due to the hump on their backs, are more aggressive and bigger than the black bears, but not as big as a grizzly. This one spent quite a lot of time foraging in the field, but in the end decided to lay down and take a nap like his roommates.
So some of the animals are not visible or they're not out because it's so hot. I think they're in their dens. But we've seen quite a few. Bear, brown bear, black bear, hippo. Hopefully we're going to get closer to the hippos in just another minute or so.
The red wolf was in an enclosure, kind of like the lions were. And you can't see them. I think it's, like he said, I think they're in the den. But that might be a good tip. Come very early in the morning if it's summer.
This was a reminder that this is wildfire country, and by logging, cleaning up, and replanting, they make this area better for the native wildlife and those that call this home. Wildlife Safari is over 600 acres with over 550 animals from all over the world and has the top cheetah breeding ground outside of Africa and second in the world. One of the animals we had hoped to see was the hippo, and we were treated to 2 different views as she lounged in her pond. The other was the giraffe, who was busy snuggling up with the private tour, available as part of those animal encounter tours we talked about at the Safari Village. As we came around to one of the last few sections of the park, we found these beautiful oryx. These animals are part of the antelope family and are well adapted to arid climates, able to survive without water for long periods. We couldn't get over how long their horns were, or what sweet faces they have.
No, I don't have any just yet, bud.
This next section was a lesson in you don't know what you don't know till you know it for us. The fallow deer who live here are very happy to be part of this drive-thru tour because they get fed. I don't remember how much the food was per cup, but we definitely didn't have enough.
Hi. Okay, well, don't take the cup. Hi. Here you go. Ooh, and still. Okay, you don't get to keep the cup.
Okay.
And I think we've decided we are rare fans, but not emu fans. What do you think? Cool or creepy?
They look crazy.
Yes.
They got crazy eyes.
They do have crazy eyes.
Let us know down in the comments. We think they're crazy. Thankfully, there were still more adorable animals on the drive.
Come over. I don't want her to come over.
Whoa. No, I don't have anything, sweetie. I'm sorry. No. Wow. That's right in our face.
We did feel badly that we had not saved a couple of cups of the food for the animals further down the drive.
You don't have any food, sweetheart? Lesson 1. At this paddock, they're very used to being fed, so windows down at your own risk.
Because, yeah, they come right up in there. They come right in and stick their heads right in your window. We didn't have any more food for these guys down here, but we did give some good shots, I hope.
This next section introduced us to the kudu and their spectacular horns. More sweet fallow deer, including the wonderful surprise of a fallow deer fawn and her mom. While the chestnut-colored coat is the more usual color, fallow deer vary from white and cream to almost solid black. We could see the spots in the undercoat of this very young fawn.
This is going to be another one of those enclosed pens.
Big cats hide in the heat. This area had several shady sections with platforms, but we did see the Sumatran tiger, who did not take his eyes off of the 3 tigers in the next enclosure the whole time we watched him. The other tigers just seemed to ignore him and hang out in the shade while he kept pacing back and forth, keeping watch.
All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed Wildlife Safari as much as we did. It was really cool. Even though some of the animals were pinned up, they do have incredible breeding programs going on here and conservation programs. So it's for the animal safeties as much as ours. What was your favorite part?
Just the whole experience. I don't know if I had one favorite part or animal that we saw. Just the overall experience was really nice. It was good. You get up and close, and I think that, probably the feeding the animals was my favorite part. That was intense.
It was very intense for me. Okay, everybody, tomorrow we are heading to the Sundial Bridge in Redding, California as our last day of travel. So remember, thumbs up, subscribe to follow along with us on our next adventure. So take care, safe travels, and we'll see you next time.
Join us next time as we tour Turtle Bay Exploration Park as we head back into California. And if you missed our last video about Forks, Washington, home of Twilight, and the magical Hoh Forest, we'll leave it for you right here. See you next time.